Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over our buy, sells, and dividends for May 5th to May 11th. With that being said, let's get it. So you guys will have to excuse me. I am still sick, but it's not going to stop me from making this content for y'all. So with that being said, let's get into the content. So first thing I want to go over here is the grayscale trusts. So as you guys can see, we added a lot this week. We added really a lot on GBAT, as you guys can see, but we already went over this in the previous grayscale video. GBAT is literally breaking out as I'm talking to you guys right now. Last week's weekly close was a bullish confirmation above the trend line. There's many other bullish confluences too. So we decided to load the boat on this. Again, it would not surprise me if this thing did a 3 to 5x on this upcoming move we're about to have on this thing. I know it sounds crazy because Bitcoin's kind of just seemingly fizzling out, but one thing I've noticed about the grayscale trusts is they don't exactly move entirely synonymously with the native crypto market, which is a bit weird, but I have noticed that is the case often. So anyways, regardless, definitely expecting the money that we put in here to do an easy 3 to 5x, probably in the coming next couple of months, I would say. Also added quite a bit of money to Meta. As you guys can see, we're already up on this position. Had somebody say a comment like something like, "Oh, Metaverse is dead." Yeah, okay, dude. Whatever you say, bro. We'll see. All I gotta say is the what is it? The trading view post that we just posted on X shows that we're not even in an altcoin bull market year yet. So the altcoin bull market year usually happens once every 4 years. So we had one in bear market year. So we only have one. So 3 out of those 4 years are bull market years. But the most bullish year is the third year. So again, if we're counting the first year as a bear market year, those years would have been 2018, 2022, and ideally 2026. So we're in 2024 now. So if the last bear market year was 2022, that means we're about a year and a half into those 3 years, which means we still have a year and a half left of altcoins going up. So you guys can go look at that on X if you want to. If not, that's it's entirely up to you, but it's up there if you want to see it. So anyways, this is what's going on with this portfolio. So again, you guys can kind of see the transactions here. So we bought some BAT back here in the previous week, as you can see, about a couple grand. And then, of course, we sold it for about $1,000 in profit here. It's actually a little bit less than that, but we're just showing you for transparency's sake. And this was shortly after the LTCN transaction. So again, I do think LTCN has a little bit more cooling off to do. And I think a lot of these other grayscale trusts are going to run up to the upside before grayscale, or let me rephrase what I said. So I think a lot of these other grayscale trusts are going to start running up by the time LTCN and BCHG have bottomed out. Okay. And then by the time these other grayscale trusts get to their peak, we could ideally start to see LTCN and BCHG start going in their parabolic trend at that point. So basically what I'm saying is a lot of these other trusts are likely going to front run LTCN and BCHG on the next move, but we'll have to see how that plays out. So in terms of buys here, so we got we bought about $1,000 worth of mana here, as you guys can see, and then almost 6K actually worth of GBAT. So pretty big bet on GBAT, but the charts are looking pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Again, it would not surprise me if we saw a probably 30-50% move up just next week alone. I know that sounds crazy, but that's kind of what it's looking like it's going to happen. It's going to be a very massive, explosive move to the upside. So in terms of the numbers of profit, that's basically $973.27. So this right here, the 965, that's the GBAT, and then the $7.43 was from the profit we took on RIV, which again is one of the dividend paying stocks that we have in this portfolio on M1. So we'll go over that right now, actually. So we'll go over to the trading. We'll click on the different trading tabs we had here for the day, so you guys can see sold out of RIV here. That's where that profit came from. Basically, we took 5%. The profit, basically the total amount between the profit and the initial investment, we took 5% of that combined total off the top of RIV and put it into PDI. If you guys have seen our videos dating way back to when we made this channel, you know how this works. And then we basically reinvested the remaining 95 back 95% back into RIV. And again, the reason why we put the money into PDI is because does pay as much, if not more, on a monthly basis. Plus, it's also the price is below our cost basis. This is generally how we do it to minimize risk and maximize reward. So you can see the rebuy here on that date. So now we'll go back over to the dividends tab. Okay, so that takes care of the Grayscale Trust and also the trading activity. So let's go ahead and get into the dividends on M1 Finance here. So you can see we got $1.20 from UVV. This is basically a tobacco company. It's a dividend growth stock. We do have a few of those. We plan on adding more in the future, just not at this current time. So $16.89 from Triple QY, 72 cents from Apple, $9.85 from ORC, $8.47 from NVDY, $2.03 from TLTW. This is, I believe, BlackRock's bond, some kind of high yield bond fund or something like that. You can see here 20-year plus treasury. So we have a little bit of bonds, but again, the exposure is not huge. So $190.73 from Tesla and 21 cents from Beto. Actually, I had a question from a YouTuber about us planning to buy back into Beto. To be honest, at this point, probably gonna have to say no to that. I mean, truth be told, there's a lot of other options out there. Like there's YBTC, MSTY, CONY, and now I think YieldMax has like a YBIT fund or something like that. And there's quite a few other funds out there. There's also some for Ethereum. So if we're going to put our money into something that's going to pay a dividend on a monthly basis, especially higher yield, we want to go for basically capturing the most amount of cash flow humanly possible. Because again, unless mass adoption does happen and or is taking place, which could change the cycle theory, in my mind, the cycle theory still remains true, which means we are going to have a bear market in crypto coming up at some point. I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I think it'll be closer to the end of next year. So what I'm saying is at some point, we're going to want to get out of the Bitcoin and crypto related dividend paying stocks and ETFs that we have, which is why we would probably not buy into this one. We'll probably just go for maximizing cash flow. So anyways, tallying all those numbers up, you guys can see here it's $230.10. Now, before I get out of this portfolio, there's actually something I wanted to show you guys here. So, and usually I wouldn't do this on one of these weekly portfolio videos, but today I'm actually going to do it because it's been a very, very long time since we've actually seen Zim in profit. So we talked about this initially when we first started our channel. So two positions that we're going to be selling out of in this next week is GOOD and Zim. And the reason being is because they are in profit right now. So we're going to take the profit off the table and basically move the money out of these positions and do a 50-50 split. What we're thinking we're going to do is a 50-50 split between YMAX and what was the other one? FEPI. So we'll do a 50-50 split between those so we don't have to fork over any of our own money. Again, you can grow the Robinhood portfolio, and then we can take our own money and start focusing on other things that we don't currently have a lot of, like TSLP, QDTE, SPYI, those kinds of things, and kind of broaden out the exposure that we have a little bit more. So, okay, I'm not sure hold on a second. Yeah, okay, I don't know what's really going on here, but yeah, we are actually in profit right now. So I believe it's more than $1 a share. Again, I don't know why it's not showing this. That's kind of weird, but yeah, we're in profit. And we do plan on selling out and getting out of this position and moving money into something that's going to pay us more every month. So now going over here to the Robinhood portfolio, let's go ahead and go over the different dividend paying stocks that we got paid from. So going here into ORC, you can see $24.37 for May 8th. Keep going down the list here. Clip, we got paid Clip, I think like a week or two ago, so that wasn't anytime soon. So Apple, you guys can see here, $5.91. Coney was a big one. This one was huge. As a matter of fact, we definitely have to add more to this because we are down quite a bit. As you guys can see, a whopping 30%. So definitely want to be buying more of this on the dip. So $188.77 on this. And again, I don't think it's really Coinbase's fault that, their share price is dropping. I think it's just that, the market's kind of having some macro headwinds again that is just kind of the markets are not really liking. So unfortunately, a lot of stocks are getting pummeled right now. It's not just Coinbase, like Palantir, SoFi, the Bitcoin miners, they're all getting pounded pretty hard. Even Tesla's also taking a beating again. So kind of just is what it is. But 1269, as you guys can see here on GUI. So, I mean, hopefully we'll have a turnaround, and next week the markets will be really bullish. That would be great. So we got AMZY here. That's 1702 on AMZY. One other thing I forgot to mention: we don't typically cover the trading calendar too much on this channel, but there is a lot of Fed heads talking. I believe it's last week and or this week. So they could possibly also be saying some things that the market doesn't necessarily really want to hear, and yeah, a lot of these investors might be like, to hell with this. I'm just going to sell off my shares. So, again, it all boils down to market psychology, but 4417 on triple QY, as you guys can see here. So we'll keep on going down the list. So we got JEPY here, $39.11. So IWMY, keep going down here. So $19.42 on this one, as you guys can see. So next one on the list would be MRNY, and MRNY has kind of been up and down. I mean, it's not really like, hasn't been consistently up, but not consistently down. So kind of ranging, as you guys can see here. So that's not a bad thing. I mean, as long as it's not going straight down, that's a good sign. A lot of funds, popular funds like JEPI, JEPQ, funds like that, they typically go sideways. They don't necessarily go up. So $18.32 on MRNY here, as you guys can see. So we're just going to keep on going down this list here. TSLP is coming up, so that's not due yet. FEPI also, so SQUI here. YMAX, I believe, is also next week, so that's not quite due yet. But SQUI, you can see $21.52 here. Okay, so we have NVDY. NVDY is actually shockingly still holding up pretty well, so $26.42 out of NVDY. I think I might have went just a little bit too far. Yeah, there we go. So MSTY. Again, this is MicroStrategy, and MicroStrategy, of course, has had a bit of a pullback, but again, that's not surprising. I mean, if you guys look at the chart, the the parabolic move on MicroStrategy was absolutely bonkers. So 69.52 in dividends from this one. So let's see here. This is the TSLY on the Robinhood portfolio. So you go down here, you got $20.18, as you guys can see right there. And I believe the only other one we have here is the QDTE. So we have added quite a few more shares of QDTE. As you guys can see, even though this is a weekly payer, I mean, it has kind of dropped a little bit since basically it was incepted, but I mean, the drop is not terrible. So it's only down about 4% all time versus some of these other ones are down like 10, 20, 30%. So it's actually holding up quite nicely. So $1.24, and again, that's basically on a weekly basis. That's not monthly. So monthly, that would be like $5 a month. So anyways, those total dividends for the Robinhood portfolio comes out to $508.66, as you guys can see here. So now we're going to list the different buys that we bought. So PDI was the one that we bought in the M1 Finance account. And for Robinhood, we have MSTY. For the dividend paying ones, we have MSTY, YMAX, QDTE, and FEPI. And for the stocks that we selected specifically for the wheel strategy and options, which these ones do not pay dividends, that would be PLTR and HUD8. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at those now. Okay, so we'll start with MSTY. So MSTY, you guys can basically see that we had one purchase here, a pretty large one of about $170. So we bought about roughly about 5.5 shares of MSTY, which again was right before the X date. We do the dividend capture strategy right before the X date of the yield max single stock ETFs, and we got a little bit extra income off of that. So now we're going to go down to PLTR. Had a relatively conservative put strike price on this one, but then we did get assigned the shares, but unfortunately it kind of really went down way more than we expected it was going to. So yeah, even though the delta was pretty low, it was like a 20 to a 30, it still kind of really got smacked. Not really much we could do about that. We plan on buying more anyways, so this is kind of what it looks like right now. But you guys can see that I actually have to open this up because I forgot that we wrote a contract on this. So you guys can see that we bought some shares here, bought some shares here, bought the rest here, wrote a contract, got $100 in premium, closed early for about $4. And then because, again, the strike price is so much higher, we didn't get as much alpha on this, but roughly about $9, so not bad. So that's PLTR. Now we're going to go down to YMAX. And again, the ex-dividend dates are coming out for YMAX, YMEG, and ULTY, so do keep that in mind. We're only currently down roughly about 5%, so that's not terrible considering the market's been kind of shaky lately. Okay, so let's see here if I can find this. Okay, so 6.79 shares on the 6th, 1.27 on the 8th, 1.27 on the 9th. And again, this is to front run basically the ex-dividend date for the upcoming dividend payout for the month. QDTE, again, same thing on that one, although I don't know exactly off the top of my head when the next ex-dividend date for this one is, but I'll have to look at it. They do not allow you to do dollar amounts on this one, unfortunately, which sucks. So you do have to buy an entire share. But you guys can see we bought 3 shares on the 7th, 1 on the 8th, 1 on the 9th, 1 on the 10th. And then there's your dividend payout right there. So HUD 8 kind of down quite a bit on this one, but we do plan on buying more. Again, HUD 8 is kind of more of a growth play. It's not necessarily an options play. We do get premiums from it, but we're kind of more trying to look for the massive upside and potential gains on this move. So just going over the numbers here, 8.65 shares on the 8th, 8.67 on the 9th, 8.53 on the 10th, and then basically a sell call roll here. So you can see a little bit more premium on that. And what was the last one? Last one was FEPI, I think. Okay, yeah. So one purchase here for basically roughly about half a share, and that was yesterday on FEPI. Now, in terms of options premiums, one more thing before I get into that. So you guys can see here on Webull, we basically got 474 from Apley and 44.21 from OARC here. So those numbers come out to $48.95, as you guys can see here. This number on the left here is the Robinhood dividend, so $508.66. Now, in terms of options premiums for the week, so we got $100 from PLTR. We closed early for $4, so it's $96 in premiums. $9 times one contract on PLTR. Entry date was the 7th. Close date is going to be the 17th. One cash secured put on Mara. Entry date the 7th. Close date the 10th for $44 in premiums. SoFi covered call, entry date the 7th. Close date the 17th. That's 7 times 3, so $21 in premium. SoFi again on the 8th, covered call. Close date is going to be on the 17th. That's 5 times 2. That's $10 in premiums. Mara cash secured put roll on the 8th. Close date was on the 10th, and that's for another $20 in options premiums. And yes, we did get assigned those shares. So CLSK cash secured put, that's still in the works, but the entry was on the 9th and the close date's on the 17th. We got $35 in options premium for that one. HUD 8 covered call roll on the 10th. Close date's going to be on the 24th. We got $12 in premium for that one, but it costs us $3 to close early, so that's $9. And the total for that premium comes out to for the week, $244 total in premium, which again, if you average that out over a month, is going to be about $1,000 a month. So pretty good. So the total we made on the week was $2,004.98. That's a pretty good week considering we didn't make really a ton of money in crypto. Again, if we were to do the numbers over the course of a year, that comes out to about $100,000 a year. And one other thing I did want to point out, and I don't think I've ever mentioned this on this channel, but let me just put it like this: we're currently making enough to where we could actually resign from the job if we wanted to, but we just want to be sure that we're going to make enough money going forward to sustain it long term. So we are at kind of that break even point right now, but we need to get to a point where we're making about, I would say, either equal to or 1.5 times what we make from our jobs. So just wanted to throw that out there. We are serious about being able to do this full time for y'all. It's just, it takes work, man. It takes work, time, and patience and dedication. It's not an easy process. If it was, everybody would do it, right? So anyways, hope y'all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.